everybody. This is Christian Splutzer from Clockwork Recruiting. So given the current environment with COVID and lockdown, I think most people would agree that the search market is taking a hit. And there's a lot of things going on that are out of your control, like searches going on hold or things that you thought were going to close or go to search not even happening. So we thought we'd take a little bit of time to go through some of the things that you might want to consider doing, as you might have a little bit more time on your hands. So let me share my screen with you and go through a quick presentation of some ideas that you may want to consider. So we're going to do a little series that we're going to call Adapt, Survive, and Thrive in a Crisis. So some of you may remember 2008 and the financial crisis of 2008. Not too dissimilar from now. Obviously, it was hitting firms and companies at a global level. Firms were struggling to keep the business and find work. And as a result, a lot of recruiters found themselves, let's say, independent. They had to set up their own shop, and they needed to figure out a new way to build their business and find things to do. So when search slows down, what do you do? What do you do with all this extra time on your hand? Well, you're in recruiting because you're good at building connections with people. So now's a great time to do some of the nuts and bolts networking to strengthen the relationships that you've got. So you already know you're good at building these connections. How do you go about making them stronger? Who do you talk to? How do you reach out to them? What's the ways to reach out to them, to the people you already know? And you want to find ways that you can provide value to these people. You know, these are the candidates and clients and people on your team that you're working with day in and day out in your business. So how are you going to, when there's no search work, provide value to each of these players? And what are the tools you need to kind of help you achieve this or be effective in strengthening these relationships you got? So building true connections is really what the recruitment process is about. And your most important groups of people are three people in your candidates, clients, and your teammates. So you want to focus on those people. Like, there are others, there are going to be plenty of people that want to talk, but for your business, as you're trying to get through this crisis, focus on these three. So talking to your candidates. These are the people that you were talking to while search was going on, or people that you've talked to in the past. So you can do some research for them and initiate these conversations by aggregating the conversations you've had with people that you know, and listening to what their concerns are. A lot of them are unsure of where they stand in the market, what's going on with their company, or what are they going to do for their next move. So listening to them and being a resource of information is going to be a very good way to demonstrate your value, as well as provide some insight. So providing that advice, and more info can alleviate some concerns. So getting in front of these candidates and talking to them, you'll find it helpful, they'll find it helpful, and you're deepening those relationships you already have with those people. Next is your clients. Who are the people that you've talked to? Who have you worked with in the past? You have an opportunity to be an expert. That's your goal as an executive recruiter, is to be seen as the expert that you are. You are the best position to provide that sort of market feedback when you are doing a search, as well as when you're not. So you can pick up the phone or do a Zoom call with your clients and tell them what you're hearing. You can also listen to what they're doing. You present the information that you've gathered while talking to your clients and candidates. So whether you're aggregating what you've heard from the candidate market, or you're taking what you're hearing from other clients, this is uncharted territory, right? And so a lot of people are flying blind, and you've got as a point of contact for all of these really high-end executives that you work with, whether as candidates or the clients who hire you. You're going to be privy to some information that a lot of these other high-powered executives are not. So you can, again, this is your opportunity to shine, to be a trusted advisor. Then you've got your team. where people are working remotely, people are nervous about where you're going to find work. And that tends to be the focus of everyone in search. What about the work? But there's so much more that you can do, whether it's talking to those candidates or clients or figuring out how to better work internally, how to improve your process. So you want to check in with your team as often as it takes. How are they handling these new challenges, new changes in the current environment? Are they finding new ways to adapt? Do you have things that you can share with them that are going to help them adapt to these changes? Working remotely for is a way of life for many in this industry, but a lot of people seek out that sense of community at the office. So making sure that people are finding ways to communicate and stay in touch and feel connected. Sharing the insight that you have as you talk to candidates and clients, but also getting insight that they have. They should be doing the same thing you're doing and talking to people that they've worked with in the past. So again, aggregating that information, leveraging what you are hearing from the market and being able to synthesize it so that you can share it internally as well as the people that you outside of your firm. All of this is going to help you stay productive, and staying productive is, it's in uncertain times is a challenge. There are a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of information to gather. Staying on task and staying productive as it relates to your work and getting your team to stay productive for when this finally turns around. You want to set yourself up for success by creating new routines. So a lot of this is lessons learned from 2008. I was at CT Partners back in 2008. I was a recruiter, and we were a top 10 firm. We'd grown very fast up until 2008, and like a lot of other firms, it was hit hard when the financial crisis finally broke out. I saw a lot of my fellow recruiters get let go. Quite frankly, a lot of my fellow recruiters who I considered to be better recruiters than I were suddenly finding themselves without a job, without work, without a technical infrastructure to do their recruiting. And I didn't think that was, I saw that as an opportunity for us in Clockwork. I also didn't really, quite frankly, think it was quite fair. Bigger firms are, they got the infrastructure, they've got the experience, they've got the ability to scale up, scale down in these time crises. But this is something that everyone in this industry faces with the ups and downs of the market, and we're hit hard, whether it's the financial crisis or whether it's the COVID crisis. There are ways to stay productive and prepare while things are upended from what we consider to be a day in the life of the executive recruiter. This is not your typical day in the life. This is something else. So building Clockwork to accommodate both the ups and downs in the market, as well as figuring out how to support distributed teams and increase collaboration from clients, really was our entire ethos and where we come from. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in this series is addressing some of the ways that you can be thinking about staying active, staying productive, using your various tools. We're going to talk about how you mine your data to find clients and candidates, people that you've worked with in the past, building those marketing lists to reach out to the people that you want to be talking to, and cultivating business development so that you're staying in touch with the leads that you have and building new ones where you can. We're going to talk about how to prepare for when business picks up by preparing your research and to focus on your process, improving the process when you have the time, maybe taking some training to improve your overall understanding of Clockwork and its capabilities and how you can utilize those features you may have a cursory experience working with. And then increasing collaboration across the team, both internally and externally with your clients when you're actually working on projects. All of these are going to be future topics of the series that we hope will help as you get through this. And just something to remember. I mean, we all kind of know this on some level, but you can't really control what's going on right now outside. And as scary as it is, there are things you could be doing that you could be improving your business, that you're setting yourself up for success. I'm happy to report that most of the customers if not all, the customers that I'm talking to are taking this stance. This is an opportunity, as scary as it may be, to get better, to maybe get some of that time that we've all been searching for in our busy day-to-day lives, to step back and get back to some of the nuts and bolts of staying connected and building relationships that actually make us good recruiters. So, you know, wherever there's a challenge, there's always an opportunity. So look for these new webinars coming up in the future. Obviously, we're here to help if we can. And I'm putting my email here in the slide, christian@clockworkrecruiting.com. If you have any questions, feedbacks, comments, if you have anything that you'd like to see, drop me a note. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk. Let's build those connections. I'll sign off with this. Thank you for taking the time for listening to this webinar. Hope it helps, and everybody stay safe and be well.